Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we'll hear about Lord Shiva and Uma Devi. They appear before Markandeya Rishi and they glorify Markandeya Rishi and also devotees also. So let's see. Aswin Mati, when are you ready? You can start, Mati.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam to all the devotees. I'll start with reciting the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namastatyam Naram Chaita Narotayam Devi Saraswati Vashyam Tato Jayam Uddayam Naste Prayasu Abhideshu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevam Bhagavati Uttam Slokam Bhaktira Bhagavati Nashtiyaka. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna. Today we're starting out with Lord Shiva and Uma glorifying Markandeya Rishi. Cantos 12, The Age of Deterioration, Chapter 10. Text 1. Sutta Goswami said, the Supreme Lord Narayana had arranged this opulent display of his bewildered potency. Markandeya Rishi, having experienced it, took shelter of the Lord. Text 2. Sri Markandra said, O Lord Hari, I take shelter of the sole of your lotus feet, which bestowed fearlessness upon all who surrendered to them, even the greatest demigods, and bewildered by your illusionary energy, which appears to them in the Jesh of knowledge. Text 3. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Rudra, traveling in the sky on his bull and accompanied by his consort Rudrani, as well as his personal associate, observed Markanda in trance. Text 4. Goddess Uma sees the sage addressing Lord Girsha. My Lord, just see this learned Brahman, his body, mind, and sense motionless in trance. Text 5. He is as calm as water in the ocean, when the wind has ceased and the fish remains still. Therefore, my Lord, since you bestowed perfection on the performer of austerity, please award his sage the perfection that is obviously due him. Text 6. Lord Shiva replied, surely this saintly Brahman does not desire any benediction, nor even liberation itself, for he has attained pure devotional service unto the inexhiberated personality of Godhead. Text 7. Still, my dear Bhavani, let us talk with his saintly personality. After all, association with saintly devotees is man's highest achievement. Text 8. Sutta Goswami said, having spoken thus, Lord Shankara, the shelter of pure soul, master of the spiritual science, and controller of the embodied living beings, approached the stage. Text 9. Because Markandeya material mind had stopped functioning, the sage failed to notice that Lord Shiva and his wife, the controller of the universe, has personally come to see him. Markandeya was so absorbed in meditation that he was unaware of either himself or the external world. Text 10. Understanding the situation very well, the powerful Lord Shiva employed his mystic power to enter within the sky of Markandeya's heart, just as the wind passes through an opening. Text 11-13. Sri Markandeya saw Lord Shiva suddenly appeared within his heart. Lord Shiva's golden hair resembled lightning, And he had 3 eyes, 10 arms, and a tall body that shone like the rising sun. He wore a tiger skin, and he carried a trident, a bow, arrow, a sword, and a shield, along with prayer beads, a dumber dum, a skull, and an axe. Astonished, the sage came out of the trance and thought, "Who is this? And where is he coming from? Where has he come from?" Text 14. Opening his eyes, the sage saw Lord Rudra, the spiritual master of the three world, together with Uma and Rudra's followers. Markandeya then often offered his respect obeisances by bowing his head. Text 15. Markandeya worshipped Lord Shiva along with Uma and Shiva's associates by offering them words of welcome, sitting place, water for washing their feet, scented drinking water, fragrant oils, flowers, garland, and arti lamp. Text 16. Markandeya said, "O mighty Lord, what can I possibly do for you, who are fully satisfied by his own ecstasy? Indeed, by your mercy, you're satisfied. You satisfy the entire world." Text 17. Again and again I offer my obeisances unto you, O all opulence, transcendental personality. As a Lord of goodness, you give pleasure in contact with mode of passion. You appear most fearful, and you also associate with the mode of ignorance. Text 18. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Shiva, the foremost demigod and the shelter of the saintly devotees, was satisfied by Markandeya's praise. Pleased, he smiled and addressed the sage. Text 19. Lord Shiva said, "Please ask me for some benediction. Since among all giver of benediction, we three, Brahma, Vishnu, and I, are the best. Since seeing us not going in vain, because simply by seeing us, mortal activities immortal. I'm sorry, mortal achieves immortality." Text 20 to 21. The inhabitant and ruling demigod of all planets, along with Lord Brahma, the Supreme Lord Hari, and I, glorify, worship, and assist those Brahmans who are saintly, always peaceful, free of material attachments, compassion to all living beings, pure devotees to us, devoid of hatred, and endowed with equal vision. Text 22. I'm sorry, Prabhuji. Am I going on
I
beyond
think,
22?
yeah, there's enough, Mata. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna. Okay. So, in this section, we're seeing the context. In the last chapter, Markandeya Rishi saw the illusory potency of Krishna as he desired, and it's also so the beautiful form of baby Krishna also on the top of a banyan tree, banyan leaves basically. Young banyan tree described and a banyan leaf on top of banyan leaf he was described. It's a very cute form of Krishna he saw. And then when he was going close to him to embrace him, that time Supreme Lord disappeared. That's how the last chapter ended. Then in this chapter, which is titled Lord Shiva and Uma glorify Markandeya Rishi, Sutta Goswami is describing that when Markandeya Rishi saw a whole manifestation of this illusory potency before him like this in the form of annihilation that he was seeing, then that time he after that experience he took shelter of the Lord like that. So that is a natural conclusion even for devotees, irrespective of what is situation going in their life. If something wonderful going on, they take shelter of the Lord to in gratitude to the Lord. If something is a difficult situation that we have to deal with in life, we take shelter of the Lord uh, in prayers to Him, in depending on Him to work on the situation like that. So now text 2, Markandeya Rishi is praying to Supreme Lord. What is he saying? He's saying, "Oh Lord Hari, I take shelter of your lotus feet. Even the great demigods are bewildered by your release energy, which appears to them in the guise of knowledge." So this is an important point. Purport clarifies it for important lesson for us. So conditioned souls are attracted to material sense gratification, and because of that, they study different ways of material nature. That means how is this causing this effect, this causing that effect, like that, with the purpose of increasing material sense gratification. That is the main point here. So meaning, but well, that means their study purpose is what? So that they can increase the sense gratification. That is the purpose of the study that they engage in. So that means even though they're appearing advancing in scientific knowledge because of the study, then what is happening? They become increasingly entangled in the false identification with the material body, because they're always trying to see how to increase the pleasure for the body. That means they're increasing the conception of I'm body, like that. That is the point being made here. That means the more they're going to bodily consumption, they're more going into ignorance, not really advancing in knowledge. Real knowledge starts with understanding of spirit soul. That is the point being made in the text number 2. So, but we'll but such souls think that they are actually advancing in knowledge, like that. But actually they're going opposite direction. That's why Prabhupada commonly used to comment about scientists and mundane education, like that, because it is not only just not harmful, in the sense not just they're not only just not giving spiritual knowledge, but actually they're harming, because by creating more and more ignorance, more and more bodily consumption, like that. That is a wonderful point being made in the text number 2 purport. Now text number 3. So after he prayed like that, is described. So Lord Rudra and Rudrani, that means Uma Devi, they're both traveling in the sky along with their personal associate systems. So they observed that Markandeya Rishi is in trance. So then Goddess Uma Devi told Lord Girisha, is described, "My Lord, just see the learned Brahmana, his body, mind, and senses motionless in trance." So she's recommending to Lord Shiva to give something. So she's saying, he's as calm as the waters of the ocean. Therefore, my Lord, since you bestow perfection on the performers of austerity, anybody performing austerity, you give perfection to them. So please award this age the perfection that is obviously due him. That means because he's doing so much austerity, he's actually due some benediction. So please give him, like that. She's asking Uma Devi. So this is important verse. Next verse, text 6. He's saying, Lord Shiva is saying, this saintly Brahmana does not desire any benediction, because he doesn't have any material desires, this Markandeya Rishi. And not only general material desires, he doesn't even desire liberation also. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Umadev might say, "Oh, okay, first he will say, give something, right?" Lord Shiva says, no, he doesn't have any material desires. Umadev is saying, okay, give him liberation. No, he doesn't want liberation also. Okay, then give him bhakti. Then Lord Shiva is saying, actually, he already has bhakti. He already attained Supreme Lord. He has attained bhakti unto Supreme Lord. So that means I cannot give him anything, like that, he's saying. So now, but the next verse is interesting. But then he encourages Bhavani or Uma Devi. He says, okay, let us talk with this saintly personality. After all, association with saintly devotees is man's highest achievement. That is Lord Shiva's mode. He wants to associate with devotees of the Supreme Lord, like that. So that's why he's saying, okay, even though we're not able to give anything to him, let's go and associate with him, like that he's saying. So that's we should also be eager to have devotee association, so that with devotee association, we can develop the right desires, right aspirations, and we can practice bhakti continuously, and then we can progress in bhakti also, just because of the association of devotees. Now, text 8. Sutta Goswami says that Lord Shankara approached the sage, it seems, finally, Markandeya sage, after, because Lord Shiva wanted to have association of devotee. That's why he went to the Markandeya Rishi. Now, text 9, because Markandeya's material mind had stopped functioning, the sage failed to notice Lord Shiva and Uma Devi. Basically, because he's in trance, he's not even aware of his personal body and that he's perceiving things outside like that. He was very absorbed in the trance, it seems. That's why he could not observe that even Lord Shiva and Uma Devi came there like that. Then going to text 10. Now Lord Shiva understood that he did not understand. Lord Shiva employed his mystic power to enter within the sky of Markandeya's heart. So he entered the heart of Markandeya Rishi, it seems. So that because he could not recognize that he's there outside, that's why he entered the heart with his mystic powers, Lord Shiva. Then Markandeya saw Lord Shiva suddenly appear within his heart, and the beautiful form of Lord Shiva is glorified here. How he has golden hair resembling lightning, he had 3 eyes, 10 arms, and a tall body. He wore a tiger skin, it seems. He carried a trident, different weapons like bows, arrows, sword, and shield. And he also had prayer beads to meditate. And then Damaru drum, which he uses a drum of regulation to dance while using that drum. A skull and an axe. Astonished, the sage came out of his trance. When he saw the vision of Lord Shiva in his heart, he came out of his trance, it seems. And he thought, who's this? Where has he come from? Then he opened his eyes. Then he saw Lord Shiva along with Uma Devi, along with other personal associates of Lord Shiva. Then Markandeya offered his obeisances by bowing down his head like that to both, or to all of them, Lord Shiva, Uma and his followers. So, interestingly, yeah, in the next verse we'll find out that also. The point is, now after offering obeisances, Markandeya Rishi offers worship to whom? That's important. He worships Lord Shiva along with Uma Devi and Shiva's associates also. So all of them he worships them. How does he worship them? By offering them words of welcome and sitting place, water for washing their feet, scented drinking water, fragrant oils, flower garlands, and aarti lamps. Basically, he did the whole aarti also. Not only did he worship, but including aarti also, he did, like that is described. So Markandeya Rishi started to speak to Lord Shiva. He's saying, what can I possibly do for you who are fully satisfied by your own ecstasy? So one thing we can learn from here is, when he saw that great personality, Markandeya Rishi's service mood is coming out. So he's starting with, what can I possibly do for you? He's not thinking, what can I get from you? What can you give me, like that? He's starting with, what can I possibly do for you? And he's also recognizing the humility also is coming out. Because he's understanding that Lord Shiva is already fully satisfied with his own ecstasy. Then what can I possibly give him? Like that is understanding his insignificant nature also before Lord Shiva, like that. Of course, Lord Shiva is recognizing him as a great devotee. That's why he came. But the devotee's nature is, they think others are more advanced, like that. So that's why he's describing like that. What can I do for you, like that? Now, he's saying again and again, I offer my obeisances unto you. Oh, as the Lord of goodness, you give pleasure. In the contact with mode of passion, you appear most fearful, and you also associate with the mode of ignorance. So he's describing him as the Lord of the 3 modes of nature. Commonly, we are used to hearing how Lord Shiva is the in charge of the mode of ignorance. But here is describing him as 3, because Lord Shiva has another position also. Overall, Krishna's expansion, he can also take the other forms also to help in the mode of goodness passion. For example, commonly the example is given of how Lord Shiva also not only does annihilation, but he also helps in maintenance of the universe. How is that, one may question? When Samudra Manthan Leela, when the churning of the milk ocean was being done by demigods and demons, that time poison came out, halahala poison. Then, if the halahala poison would have spread over the whole universe, it would have destroyed everybody. But Lord Shiva helped in preserving the universe by taking care of the poison at that time. That one example is given like that. How is involved like that to maintenance also then. Another example is given about the creation. How is involved in creation like that is described. When Supreme Lord Mahavishnu glances on the material nature, that time that glance itself is called Shambhu. So that Shambhu isn't coming in touch with the material nature or Prakriti. So in that sense, he is also involved in the creation. That means not just destroying everything. So that's how we can understand Lord Shiva has multiple positions and multiple services actually. He does like that. Now going to text 18. Sudhavasu is saying, Lord Shiva was satisfied with Markandeya's praise. Means prayers. He is very satisfied with him. Pleased, he smiled, and Lord Shiva started to speak. What did Lord Shiva say in 19th verse? Please ask me for some benediction. Since myself, Lord Brahma, and Lord Vishnu are the best in giving the benedictions like that. We are the best among all people who give benedictions. And whoever sees us, that act of seeing never goes in vain. Because simply by seeing us, you can even get immortality like that is describing. So now the last verse for today, 2021. The inhabitants and ruling demigods of all planets, along with Lord Brahma, Supreme Lord Hari, and I. Basically, everybody, including myself, Brahma, and Hari, Supreme Lord, we all glorify and worship Brahmanas with wonderful qualities, he's saying. So this section starts with glorification of devotees now, next few verses. We'll continue tomorrow. But what are the qualities he's glorifying? So these sort of verses should inspire us to cultivate good qualities that will be pleasing to Supreme Lord and all the living entities, is saying. So what are those qualities? Brahmanas were saintly. First of all, they're saintly. They're always peaceful, free of material attachment, compassionate to all living beings. See, that means they're not just worshipping Supreme Lord, they're also compassionate to other living beings and purely devoted to us, devoid of hatred. They don't hate anybody, and endowed with equal vision. So that equal vision will be expanded tomorrow also. But essentially, it means that seeing everyone in relation to Supreme Lord Krishna. That's what the equal vision means, like that. So that's how Lord Shiva starts to glorify Markandeya Rishi and the other devotees also. We'll continue tomorrow. I see Asmita Mataji has her hand up. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. You have
Hare
some
Krishna
comments?
Prabhuji. One quick question.
Yes, Mataji, you muted again.
Sorry, I'm muted. I always understood that that Shri Krishna is Lord Shiva's Adharya, but a lot of times you hear Shri Krishna's Adharya is Lord Shiva. Why is that?
Adarya, what do you mean by that word?
Like superior, like someone you pray to, right? Yeah.
Oh, so what is the question?
So I hear that of course Krishna is someone you pray to, and everybody prays to, right? But why does it sometimes say that Lord Shiva, Krishna prays to Lord Shiva?
Oh, okay, got it.
What is the mood and what is the reason?
Okay. I think one devotee was describing in the context of Lord Rama's Leela, why does he pray to Lord Shiva like that? In that context, one devotee was describing. Uh, so basically, the idea is that they're setting an example to show that Lord Shiva is a great personality. Even other demigods are also great personalities. We need to worship them, respect them like that. That is one mood is describing. And that is one answer that is given in that context. Second is that in the material world, Lord Shiva is considered as the father. Even though Krishna says, Aham Bija Prajapata, I am the father of everyone, all living beings. Krishna is in charge of the whole spiritual world, all the living beings in the spiritual world. And Lord Shiva is also described as the in charge of material world like that. So in that sense, offering respect to the in charge of the material world like that also is described sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense, Madhuri?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
I also understood that the human beings, us, on earth are, kids of, Parvati Ma and Shiv Bhagwan, so it's kind of interesting to learn, different, I guess, layers of it,
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
true statement. Yeah, he's considered as the father. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita purport, one of the purports also, the same point that you're describing. That is the father, and Lord Uma Devi is the mother. Remember, I was describing about how when Mahavishnu glances the Prakriti, that glance is the Shambhu. That in that sense is considered as a father. Is coming in touch with Prakriti, who is the mother, like that.
Right.
Thank you, Mother.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, Payalmati, you had a comment or question?
Prabhuji, one sometimes worship Lord Shiva and then spiritual. One more aspect why sometimes Krishna worship Lord Shiva, because you told last maybe last few verses Krishna told that saintly persons are I am in the heart of saintly persons, and saints are also in my heart, right?
Yeah.
And also Lord Krishna listens the instruction of his devotees, and Krishna also worship his devotees like that. He loves his devotees. Also Krishna's devotee. So
yeah, very nice, man. Thank you, Krishna. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we can end here then. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. With soft obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kupasindubhyevacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Om.